Well, hello YouTube. So I'm new to the story, but apparently there was a man or a young individual by the name of Aaron Hill, and him and a friend decided to film Aaron Hill beating up a defenseless 16-year-old autistic. Just so they can say, look how many views we can get, just so they can have the shits and grins of seeing how famous they can make themselves. And people say the bullying in our country stopped. I disagree with that. Now, thankfully enough, however, he was arrested and he's being prosecuted for it. So, at least this time justice was served. So, that's a good thing to think. At least there is some justice in our society. Smoking a Vegas number 5. Pretty good cigar. I woke up yesterday with a sore throat, but by the end of the day it was gone. Right now I got a little bit of stuffiness and mucus and the occasional cough, so I got a mild sinus cold going here, but it's not too bad. I took some Dayquil for it, so. But, you know, that kind of thing concerns me. I'm autistic, well, high-functioning autistic, but still, you know, would you want to see, I'm not exactly defenseless. With arms like these, I'm not exactly defenseless here, okay? But yeah, this is an old story, obviously, but I just heard about it, and, dude, I was fucking livid when I heard it, you know? Would you go off beating up a 16-year-old, let alone someone who's autistic? Do you have any morals? You know, it's times like these, and then we got a kid who got arrested for posting a fake Facebook status as requirement for an assignment for class, and I quote, his Facebook status was, he shot his neighbor's pet dinosaur with a gun. And everyone saw that and freaked out and arrested him for it. One, he's too young to buy a gun anyway. And two, he didn't have a gun. And three, dinosaurs are extinct. Well, we do have crocodiles and alligators, but that's beside the point. You know the incident where Mr. Brown was shot in St. Louis by a cop? 4 miles away, in a nearby town, another one got shot. Another person, I should say, for wielding a knife. The cops claimed that it was 3 to 4 feet away from them with the knife, and that he was holding the knife up and saying, "Shoot me, just shoot me." But then someone caught it on cell phone camera. He did say, "Shoot me, just shoot me," but he wasn't holding the knife up like this. He just had it at his side, basically. And so they did shoot him. They shot him 10 times. Dead. And then they tried cuffing his corpse just to make it seem like a following procedure. Nice. Well, needless to say, I didn't let those stories get to me too much. I did go to the sandbar last night, and I had a good time as always. Drinks, I'd had a whole pitcher of Coors Light. Yeah, there you go. I'm at the stage of my sinus cold where I'm coughing up mucus. It's always fun. After that, I had an Angry Orchard and Midori Red Bull and Pineapple. Oof, Midori Red Bull and Pineapple is delicious. If you ever get a chance to try it, it is the bee's knees. Well, after that, I had a couple quarter beers, and then I had a shot of tequila, vodka, and peach schnapps. And I eventually started to fall asleep in my chair from drinking so much, and at that point I woke up and I'm like, oh, shit, my bad. So I figured I better call a cab and get on home. So I did, you know, went outside. Some guy saw I was sitting down there all drunk as shit, and he's like, you okay, man? I'm like, I'm fantastic. But, yeah. But, you know, this, man, growing up as a kid, whenever we had a cop come and talk to the school about whatever, and some kid would ask about the gun, you know, the cop would always say, as cops, we are trained to that as a last resort. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he had a gun and he was mowing people down, you know what? Pull your gun and shoot him 10 times dead. You've been doing your job, right? But he wasn't. He didn't have a gun on him. He just had a fucking knife. Like, seriously? You know? You know, it's one of those things. I should also mention that 37 states are marijuana friendly now. So, we're about 13 shy of the whole country being, you know, so, yeah. And if we legalized it, oh, we would be rich. Filthy, stinking rich. Yeah. But, I mean, if 37 states have decriminalized it, legalized it for medical or recreational use, or both, maybe it's not such a bad thing after all. Some people in Wyoming don't want it legalized because they're afraid that with all the loose gun laws that we have, that some shit were to pop off. And I disagree with you on that. And the reason being is, let's look at the facts. Colorado crime rate has actually gone down since decriminalization. Interesting. I know how much our government loves to make money, so they want to make money so goddamn bad they should legalize it. Then you get a story where in Tampa Bay, Florida, this man was shot and killed by cops for 0.6 grams of marijuana because, and I quote, the government suspected him of smoking it and selling it. So they called the cops in Tampa Bay, Florida. The cops bust in the guy's house. They see someone on the couch sleeping. They detain the guy's roommate. And the guy's hearing all his commotion, thinking there's a burglar in his house. He goes to grab his gun. But before he gets a chance to use it, the cops bust down his door and fill his body full of shotgun slugs and pistol rounds. And then you turn around and, oh, what's this? Some states are legal, and some of the banks aren't taking the money, so the government's turning around and saying, well, that's our money now. Really? Kind of hypocritical if you ask me, I'm just saying. You know, what gives a person a right to beat up somebody, let alone a 16-year-old autistic? Really? You know, shit like this, man, just makes me livid. And I mean livid. But, you know, the sick part of it is they were filming it thinking this will make us famous on YouTube. Oh, well, look at us, look how tough we are, you know. Scuzz buckets. That's what they are. But despite prohibition, 37 states have said no. So if we get the last 13 to cooperate, or at least decriminalize it, that'd be a nice start. And in some areas of the country, there's no jobs, there's no economy. Legalizing weed, not only does it bring in your state a lot of money, but it also opens up a ton of jobs. So, yeah. Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, smoked it. He's smoking it out of an apple, got the idea to call his product Apple. Henry Ford's first Model T ran on hemp ethanol. The seats are made out of hemp and parts of the car made out of hemp. Now, what do Steve Jobs and Henry Ford have in common? They were both featured in an episode of Family Guy, where they were buying Apple computers from the store. You look at the store, there's little circles on the outside of it. Before that, though, they had a cutaway scene with a Model T in it. Mayor Adam West comes back and says, "I took this computer home, there's already a bite taken out of the apple." Huh? George Clooney smokes it. Stephen King smokes it. In fact, Walt Disney smoked it. Yeah. The guy who created Mickey Mouse, I believe was his name. And what's ironic about Mickey Mouse is you look at his ears. They're two gigantic circles. So, again, YouTube, you want marijuana legalized, talk to your state senators and representatives and make your voice be heard. You get this discussion with enough circulation behind it, eventually they're going to go, well, people obviously want it, so fuck it, you know. I would just keep pestering Congress until they do it, you know, because eventually they're going to get sick and tired of people demanding that it gets legalized. And they're just going to say, fuck it, it's legal, you know. Hey, but 37 states, that's a good start. This country's broke. People are without jobs in some places. The only reason marijuana is illegal is because politicians are getting paid by the pharmaceutical companies to fund their campaign. And marijuana has been proven to treat a number of ailments, including cancer, so if it gets legalized, you know, the pharmaceutical companies would lose a lot of money. Oh, boo-hoo. At least with marijuana, we know the side effects, right? Some of these prescription pills they give you, the side effects often, 9 times out of 10, outweigh the cause for taking them in the first place. Hi, I'm Bob so-and-so. Have you suffered side effects from this pill that debilitates your life? If so, you may be entitled to compensation. Call now. You have the right to earn your money. You know, seeing commercials like that, you know, it makes me a little bit less trusting of the pharmaceutical companies. Just saying. So, if we legalized it, though, we would be filthy, stinking rich. Go ahead and take that label off now, since we're getting closer to the end of the cigar here. I tried getting some weed with my paycheck, and didn't happen because Casper's somewhat dry. Well over half of Casper smokes it, so I can see why it's dry. I mean, if you jailed us all, we'd have no economy in this town. And it would kind of suck, wouldn't it? So. Oh. Yeah, I'm starting to get over my cold a little bit here. Mild sinus, very mild sinus cold. Just coughing up mucus at this point. Spit the mucus into my ashtray there. Yeah, and you know what, the thing of it is, if crime rate in Colorado's gone down since legalization, then you don't have to worry about the loose gun laws if you legalize weed out here. I'm just saying. And again, when it comes to elections especially, you know, ask the serious question, how do you feel about legalization of marijuana? If one politician says they don't like it, another one says they do like it and they're for it, then vote for that politician that's for it. It's that simple. Okay? They get into office, okay, and when they do get into office, you propose it to them, and it just happens. That simple. And again, if you're going to vote for a governor of Wyoming, I'd do some research before you go off voting. Some of these government officials want to drill in Yellowstone for resources. I disagree with that, majorly. Yellowstone National Park is one of our money makers, okay? So, I disagree with that. But the only person running for governor of Wyoming, the only person that does not want to do that seems to be Senator Gozer. So if you do not want to see Yellowstone National Park turn into another oil field, then I would suggest voting for Senator Gozer. He's got my vote for sure, you know. Now I've seen Matt Mead and what he has to say, and I've seen Senator Gozer, and I don't know, Matt Mead just comes off as he's trying to impress you, like, with his background and shit, and that Matt Mead's got a great sense of humor, but that's it, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's just one of those things. But Senator Gozer gives off the impression, this vibe of your next door neighbor, you know what I'm saying? Someone that could help you if you needed it. So I'm voting for Senator Gozer, and I hope, you know, as Wyoming citizens, you want to do the same, you know, just because, you know, and I'm not forcing you to vote for Senator Gozer. I'm just saying, you know, if you want to make the right decision, yeah. Senator Gozer or Senator Byrd, one of the two. So, but again, you know, you want marijuana legalized in your state. Talk to your state senators, make your voice be heard, and speak up. You know, doing that kind of thing. You know, you have the right to do that. You live in a country where you have a voice, so why not use it? You know, I've already done this. I've actually sent letters to some state representatives via email, pleading with them. Okay. I even called Matt Mead's representative and told him to legalize weed for the economy and for the sick. But Matt Mead does not support weed, so I'm not voting for him. Plain and simple. You know. Marijuana aside, Matt Mead's probably one of those people that wants to drill in Yellowstone for its natural resources, and I disagree with that. You know, because like I said, preserving our wildlife in Wyoming's a key role into maintaining an awesome environment. You know what I'm saying? Look straight up. So, again, you know, before you go off voting for whoever you're going to vote for, do some research on your candidates before you vote. You know, if you choose not to vote, that is your choice. But then you bitch because the person that's in office sucks. Well, you didn't vote. You didn't make your voice be heard. So, quit your bitching, you know. Some people say, well, I don't want to vote because they will win anyway. Well, that's your excuse, dude. You know. So, again, the choice is up to you. As it sits, though, my rent's caught up for another month. I'm literally 2 weeks and a month ahead on rent. Got my internet paid off, so looking good, you know. And there's times, though, you know, you run out of weed, the town you're in is dry, it sucks, but oh well, you know. There's no use getting upset over it. There really isn't. There really isn't. But, yeah, if we legalized it, though, we'd be filthy, stinking rich. I'm just saying. Pretty much sat here for 20 minutes bullshitting with you here, so. And you find out Albert Einstein smoked it, Thomas Edison smoked it, the inventor of light bulbs, those things that light our homes at night. So when you're looking at that light bulb, you know. In fact, Albert Einstein told the U.S. government, "I do not do drugs, I burn plants." EMC equals circle. But seriously. And oh yes, Albert Einstein also had Asperger's. Imagine that. High functioning autism. You know what I'm saying? That's my little inside joke, because I thought that was kind of funny myself, actually, when I thought of it stoned one day, and sudden realization there. But, not to mention, marijuana can be used to treat arthritis, multiple sclerosis, just to name a couple, cancer, ADHD, autism, a number of ailments that marijuana can be used to treat stuff. But if marijuana gets legalized, then that means a lot of pharmaceutical companies will lose customers. And like I said, boo fucking who. 37 states have already decriminalized it and or legalized it, so again, it's obviously headed in the right direction, so it'll be legal one day. You wait and see, and it'll be nice. Until then, this is KingCobraJFS with another video, and hopefully I'll get over my sinus cold here, and yeah, thanks for watching, and see y'all later.